Viewers, I do apologize for the technical hitches that we had. We were having no sound, and I've just been updated. So I believe now everything is under control, and the sounds are, we've got sound now. So yeah, I would like to welcome Lawyer once again to the program, and then we're going to start with introduction. My name is MC Chaka. I'm the host for this program, Legal Hour. We've got Lawyer Thomas Beyebenwo. It's our main host for this program. Lawyer, I'd like to welcome you to the program.
Thank you.
How are you feeling today?
Very well, thank you.
Okay. Yeah, so today we're going to talk about naturalization. And if we say naturalization, what is the meaning of that? What is the explanation that you can give in regards to naturalization?
All right. Normally, when we say naturalization, it is a process that people go through to attain citizenship of the United Kingdom. So we have two procedures. We have a process for those who are children under 18, and then we have those who are above 18. So naturalization applies to anybody who is above 18 who has attained certain status and eventually applies for citizenship to become a British citizen.
Okay, that is really good. Thank you very much for that. So today, as we're dealing with naturalization, I believe this is a very important topic that we can all benefit from, especially the African Ghanaian communities that we call ourselves foreign nationals living in the UK. So I will start with children, because children basically do have a process in terms of naturalization. So the question is that which children born in the UK are automatically British citizens? Which children are British citizens under the UK law? Lawyer.
Yes, thank you very much. It's a very relevant question because, as I said, the main purpose of having some of this program is to enable people to know their rights. And with regards to children, children under the British Nationality Act, Section 1, Subsection 1, if a child is born in this country and either of the parents has a British passport, or that parent, either of them is settled, then that child becomes automatically British. Now, in the same vein, under British Nationality Act, Section 2, Subsection 1, if a child is born abroad and the parent is a British, then that child automatically becomes a British. The nationality law has changed over time, so as we go along, I'll try to elaborate on some of the gaps and what people must do to satisfy the relevant sections.
Okay, thank you very much, Lawyer. So, can children born abroad also apply for British passports? And what are the requirements? If you have a child that is in abroad, can you make application for them to get British passport? And what are the requirements?
Yes, as I was saying, when a child is born abroad, depending on when a child was born, and that particular date is quite significant. But in general, if a child is born abroad and either of the parent is British, otherwise by descent, and I must go further to explain what you mean by British, otherwise by descent. When we say somebody is British, otherwise by descent, it's somebody who, for example, have naturalized to become a British citizen, or which means that that person initially had a different nationality. It could be Ghanaian, Ivorian, Nigerian, Portuguese, French. So that person eventually naturalizes and then becomes a British. That person is one category of what they will call British, otherwise by descent. And then children who are also born British in this country, they are also called British, otherwise by descent. Now, if any of these people gives birth to a child abroad, depending on the date that child is born, then that child automatically becomes British. So people must take notice of the fact that they may not have to apply for settlement and waste a lot of money, because they can simply apply for passport for that child.
That's a very good explanation, lawyer. Thank you very much. Well, viewers, if you have just tuned in, if you're just watching us, my name is MC Chaka. I'm in the studio, City Media studio, with lawyer Thomas Beyebenwo, solicitor, legal practitioner for City Law Solicitors. We are here today and we're discussing naturalization and registration as British citizens. So let me ask you this question quickly, lawyer. So in what ways can adopted children become automatically British?
Yes. Normally, when children are adopted and the parent or either of the parents who adopted them is a British citizen, then that child automatically becomes British. That child can also apply for British passport. But I must take my time to explain, because there are some requirements that needs to be fulfilled. Now, the first requirement is that the adoption should have been granted in the UK. So that's one option. If anybody who is a British here and adopts a child in the UK and is habitually resident here, then that child automatically can apply for British passport. That's one condition, one option. The second option normally is that if the child is adopted from abroad, so I'm sure most of us who have family members in Africa and all over the world who may seek to adopt them. The good news is that those children, once the child is adopted from abroad, and whoever has adopted the child is a British, that child automatically becomes a British. And the reason why I'm taking my time to explain this is because most times people come to the office, they have adopted children, and then they want to go and pay about 1,523 or whatever to apply for settlement. When in fact, those children who have been adopted can automatically apply for British passport. But that adoption, I've already explained that you need to have, it should have been granted in the UK, or that adoption should have been the country where that child is adopted is signed up to the Hague Convention. So if that country is not signed up to the Hague Convention, then a child adopted simply from that country, that adoption certificate will not be recognized. And I'm aware that most people go to Ghana and other parts of Africa, and then they get adoption certificate and they want to seek to rely on to make applications. Those adoption certificates are not valid under the law because there is a regulation. So it has to be adoption that has been obtained under the Hague Convention and inter-country adoption, which is something that I can explain further. But let's leave it at that point.
Okay then. Viewers, if you've just tuned in right now, I'm here in the studio with Solicitor Thomas Beyebenwo, City Law Solicitors. So we're discussing naturalization and registration as British citizens. Lawyer, you've been a solicitor for a long time. Have there been any cases where people will come to you and they will say, oh, I've done an adoption, I've adopted a child in Ghana, they didn't grant me the visa, I did not get a visa for the child, or I didn't get anything out of that. Has there been any situation like that?
Yes, a lot of people are still not aware that when you adopt a child from, you mentioned Ghana, in all fairness, I am not aware whether Ghana has signed up to the Hague Convention, but the last time I checked the listed countries, Ghana was not there. So if Ghana is not in the list of countries of Hague Convention, then whatever adoption certificate you get from Ghana is not recognized here. So the way in which to go about it is to do what they call inter-country adoption, where the adoption starts from the UK and then they liaise with the authorities in Ghana. Eventually, adoption certificate is then granted. It's only under those circumstances that adoption will be recognized. So I see a lot of people who adopt children relying on the overseas country's law, and then they get this adoption certificate, and then they waste huge expense to make applications, which obviously was bound to fail. So it is a common phenomenon.
All right, viewers, so it's up to us. We know what exactly to do when you want to adopt somebody and bring a child from Ghana. Adoption is possible and obviously can be granted, as lawyer is elaborating right now in the studio. My name is MC Chaka. I'm here with lawyer Thomas Beyebenwo, City Law Solicitors. Lawyer, before we continue, I want you to tell viewers, for those, especially who missed our last week program, where your firm is based and what you specialize in.
Thank you, viewers. It's always a pleasure, as I say, to be at this studio and to be giving this free advice, but very essential to our lives in the UK. Our office is in Barking, Unit 113, Barking Enterprise Center, 50 Cambridge Road, Barking, IG 11 8FJ. We specialize in numerous areas of law. We specialize in immigration, employment law, personal injury and criminal negligence, family law, civil litigation, and commercial dispute. So if you have any problem or legal issues in any of these areas, you're always welcome if you don't have a lawyer who is dealing with your matter.
Okay, then if you are having any legal issues, you exactly know where to go. City Law Solicitors are there to help. And I believe Solicitor Beyebenwo would look after you, because he's giving free consultation today. And obviously, when you go to his office, he will look after you and make sure that all your legal matters are well addressed. So please, you know where to go. Anyway, Thomas, back to our questions. I've got a couple of questions for you today. So let's say if parents are in the UK, they've sent their child abroad to Ghana, maybe the child was born in the UK, and before they became citizens or they became settled in the UK, the child was in Ghana. Is there any law or is there any chance they can bring their child over to the UK?
Good. This is a very, very good question. And it's a question that needs to be answered properly. Now, the fact is that most people are not aware, but the fact is that if someone gave birth to a child was born in the UK, and then eventually either of the parents, again, I'll keep on reminding ourselves, depending on the day the child was born, if either of the parents eventually get a settled status, then that child is entitled to register and then to get a British passport. And if you look clearly, the British Nationality Act, where a child needs to have lived 10 years in the UK before they get the opportunity to register, is clear. The residence requirement is clear. Now, so it means that if a child was born here and then was sent abroad because the parents didn't have papers at the time, and eventually that parent then becomes a British or becomes settled, that parent is entitled to register this child, to apply for a British passport, to come back into this country as British. Because there is nothing in the relevant British nationality law that stipulates that residence requirements needs to be satisfied under the Act. Again, most people are not familiar with this, and a lot of them waste a lot of money to go through the settlement route, and then eventually get refused because of sole responsibility. So, yes, it is true, to answer your question, that parents who have eventually become settled can register those children who have been sent up or who were born here to come in and then as British.
Okay, viewers. Let me acknowledge some of our viewers watching from Facebook. Amal Fusia is watching. Okay, Ajimai, that's my main man. Agama. Amal for Senior is listening, is watching as well. Freddie Kwao Asari is watching. Kofi Wizzy. Yeah, Kofi Wizzy is watching. Anita Edu. Oh, Anita Mame is watching. Papa Kojo Boateng. DJ Papa Lupa Indicios Di Papacy. Papa is watching. Yuri Afuakwo is also watching. Viewers, you know what? You are the reason why we are doing this program. Because if we do it and you all tune in, you share for your friends to benefit from that, that is what gives us the motivation to keep on bringing different topics. And our renowned solicitor will always update us with what is going on, the legal implications. So please share this show, share this program, and make sure that you invite others to benefit from this topic that we discuss. It's a very important topic, naturalization and registration of British citizens. So let me ask you this before we switch to adults. Now we're still on the case anyway. Can you discuss the new case law which allows parents to apply for British passport for a child without British passport consent?
Good. Yes, I've been making a lot of announcement about this case, which is a Court of Appeal case. It's a case of GA and ORS, let's say the Secretary of State. Now, essentially, that case has opened a floodgate for parents who normally struggle to get British passport for their children simply because one of the parents who has the British passport refuses to give consent for passport to be issued to that child. Now, the case has established that where there is element of domestic abuse, which is something that we've been discussing throughout last month, looking at the Domestic Abuse Act 2021, now, which means that if there is element of domestic abuse, or if that parent who is seeking to apply for British passport for that child can demonstrate that there is domestic abuse, then that parent doesn't need the consent of the British parents in order for the application for that child to be successful. And what is the benefit of this? The benefit of this, clearly, we all know that in this country, if you have a child who is a British, automatically you can apply under the Appendix FM as a parent of that child and get either the 5-year route or the 10-year route indefinitely to me. And the hindrances or the restrictions most people have been facing is the fact that sometimes people who are meant to sign consent for British passport to be issued to those children, in order for those parents who don't have it to benefit by making those applications, always refuse to give consent. So this is an opportunity for anybody who is listening or who knows anybody who is in this situation, that there is a case that have opened a floodgate for all those people in those circumstances to take advantage of it.
I'm really surprised because this is the first time I'm hearing this lawyer, honestly, because I know a lot of people that I think for some reasons they refuse to give their passport or even to give consent for the partner who needs to apply for what they can stay in this country, and for some way or the other they will not do it, and then eventually the partner will still be just walking around, without any documents. So now I think this is a very good news for people who are really going through this kind of issues.
It is a very good
news. So in what ways can the application be made? Could that be what do you call it? immediately after the child is born, or it could take time for them to make the
Yes.
application?
The point is that as we started this conversation, we've already established that under the section British Nationality Act 1981, Section 1 of Section 1, if a child is born in this country, then obviously, if either of the parents is either a British or has a certain status, then that child automatically is entitled to British passport. Now, if you move further to British Nationality Act Section 2 of Section 1, it makes it clear that if a child is also born abroad, depending on the date that child is born, and either of the parents is also a British, this time not for those with indefinite leave. For a child being abroad to get a passport, that parent needs to be a British. One of the parents needs to be a British, depending on the date that the child is born. So having established this, it means that right from the first day that child is born, that child is automatically entitled to British passport. We have already established it in the course of this conversation. So the problem is that if the parent who, for example, traveled from here all the way to Ghana, had a child in Ghana, and decides that she won't give consent for passport to be issued to that child, then how does that parent who doesn't have British passport applies for passport for that child? So here we are looking at both children born here and born abroad. And the case, obviously, if you go into the fact, this is the child in question that has opened this floodgate for people to have opportunity to make this application, was actually born abroad. The child was not born in this country. So it means that if domestic abuse even occurs abroad, that parent is entitled to make application for British passport for the child, relying on evidence of domestic abuse. So this is how serious this case is.
Well understood. Viewers, I believe you've all understood what lawyer is saying. But then if you have any question, later on we open the phone lines. You can also drop your comments at the comment section on Facebook, and I'll be able to read for lawyer to give explanation. So I'm here today with lawyer Thomas Beyebenwo. My name is MC Chaka. I'm your host. We're discussing legal matters. This is Legal Hour, and the topic is naturalization and registration as British citizens. So I'm moving on to the question. And before we take that, before we do that, we're just going to go for a very short commercial break. When we come back, we've got more questions for lawyer. Please don't go away, and make sure you tell your friends, family, and everyone to share this program, because it's very, very beneficial. So we're going to go for a quick commercial break. When we come back, myself and lawyer obviously will come up with a lot of questions, and you get all the explanations that you need. So please stay tuned. Don't go away. viewers, welcome back. MC Chaka here with lawyer Thomas Beyebenwo from City Law Solicitors. We're discussing a very important issue today about naturalization and registration as British citizens. How you can register and naturalize to become a British citizen. That's the topic for today. And as you all know, we've been discussing this for a very long time. Lawyer has been a very loyal person on this show, and we do commend him for coming every week to give free legal advice to people. We do appreciate that, lawyer. So if you just tune in right now, this is the topic we're discussing. You can drop your comments at the bottom of the screen, and you can call us later on when I give you the phone lines to do that. So we're moving on to lawyer with a couple of questions that has been baffling our minds for a very long time. Lawyer, so in what ways can naturalization as British citizens in UK be done by adults? How can they naturalize to become British citizens in the UK?
Yes, normally for adults, they need to have certain status, unlike children who will normally wouldn't need to have certain status because if they were born and parents had it, they can get it. Or if they've lived here for 10 years, they can also get it. But for adults, the starting point is that they should also get a certain status. And then once they've gotten a certain status, they have to meet the relevant residence requirements. And then they also have to meet the relevant suitability requirements under the rules in terms of whether they have any adverse history, immigrant history, or criminal record, and to what extent that may also affect the application. So for adults, the starting point is getting certain status, and then also meeting your English and a life in UK test requirements, and then eventually you'll be able to make such applications.
Okay, so these are just the requirements that you need for such applications.
That's right.
How long do you need to live in the UK to be resident before you can do naturalization?
Yes, for these applications normally, there are two categories of people. There are those who have, for example, spouses. So we have spouses and non-spouses, and it's very significant that people take note of this distinction. For spouses, normally, if you have lived here for 3 years as a spouse of a British, then automatically, if you have a certain status, you can apply for your naturalization certificate, provided you meet the other relevant requirements. For non-spouses, it is normally 5 years. So you have to meet the 5 years residence test requirement. So that is the distinction between those who are spouses and those who are not.
Okay. And are there any discretionary or mandatory rules applicable to this one?
Yes. There are always some requirements that are mandatory and some requirements that are discretionary. And of course, for example, if you don't have a certain status as an adult, you can't apply for naturalization. So that is a mandatory requirement. There are cases where people have obviously certain status but may have issues with the residence requirement. So for example, I've already said that people, if they are spouses, they need to have lived here for 3 years. A spouse of a British citizen. So if, for example, that person have lived here for 3 years, but in the course of that 3 years, they should also not be absent for more than about 270 days, which means that every year they should not be absent for more than 90 days in a year. So some of these requirements can be waived depending on the caseworker's own discretion. So where people have been absent for a couple of months in the course of the year, especially when it's not a final year when they made the application, then those requirements could be waived. So that is the one we call discretionary. And there are others who, under the Section 50A of the British Nationality Act, where there are certain requirements in terms of whether they've had adverse immigration history in the course of their stay, let's say 10 years before they have their stay. Now, those requirements, again, if there are substantial and good reasons, then they could also be waived. So those ones are what you call discretionary. So we have the discretionary, which could be waived, and then we have the mandatory, which can never be waived.
Okay. So viewers, I believe you understood exactly what lawyer said. We have discretionary and mandatory requirements, and then obviously you said they can be waived. Is it discretionary? Some of them can be waived,
yes,
and then mandatory, some of them can be waived. So if you are looking for someone to support you, to help you with all your legal matters, do not look further. Don't look anywhere. City Law Solicitors, Solicitor Thomas Beyebenwo is the person that you need to contact. They specialize in immigration matters, employment law, family law, personal injuries and clinical negligence, commercial dispute, civil litigations. So these are all different types of law or legal areas that they specialize, and they will help you for you to get every desired outcome that you want. So please make sure that you contact them. I'll be opening the phone lines very soon, but then before then, I just want to go through with the questions and make sure that we complete the questions, and I'll open the phone lines and take your calls. Lawyer, so what ways can one lose his or British passport? Because there's a lot of people with this kind of they think once you become British citizen, your citizenship can never be revoked. So it's something that in my professional field, I deal with a lot of service users who probably do a lot of things. They commit crime, and they're not British citizens, or they're not they've not naturalized, and their indefinite get revoked. You know what I mean? But then I'm not too sure of the British citizen as to whether they can revoke it. So can you clarify, or can you elaborate on what ways that this can be revoked, please?
Yes, essentially, there are three main ways that one's nationality can be revoked. If, for example, the British nationality or British citizenship was acquired in a false identity, or false information were provided in getting the British citizenship, then if that is discovered, the British citizenship could be revoked. The second option, or the second grounds for revoking one's British citizenship, is where it is for the public good or security. And we all know about Shemima Begum, who traveled all the way to Syria, and then the Secretary of State decided that because he's a terrorist or a spouse of a terrorist, he's not allowed to come to this. So it is for the public good. So her nationality was revoked. And the last option is where people, after naturalizing, and they feel that for one reason or the other, they don't want to be British anymore. They just renounce that citizenship. So people voluntarily renounce their citizenship, and then they're no longer British. So these are various ways that people could lose their nationality under the British nationality.
Okay. I just want to hint on using false documentation to make application. Sometimes you've done your application, and maybe somebody hint or report you. It could be a partner or anybody you've had issue with. Report you to the Home Office saying, this person used dubious means to acquire their citizenship. What sort of investigation do they normally do to make sure that they get the basis to revoke the passport or naturalization or citizenship?
Yes, obviously, revoking someone's nationality or citizenship is not a simple matter, and therefore, if the Secretary of State is alleging that, or if somebody complains or gives alarm that false documentation were used to acquire that citizenship, then the burden is on the Secretary of State to prove that assertion. So simply somebody who doesn't like you calling the Home Office or the Passport Office to tell them that you acquire a British passport by misrepresentation or by using false identity will simply not revoke your passport, but obviously they have to issue a decision which could be challenged in a court of law. So it doesn't simply happen that somebody will just phone in and then straight away the passport will be revoked.
Okay, lawyer, thank you very much for that explanation. What advice will you give to people who have got indefinite leave to remain, but then they are hesitant to make application for British naturalization or to acquire the British passport? What advice can you give to such people?
I'm not surprised you're asking this question because of your area of practice. Because I'm sure you see a lot of people being deported.
Yes, I do. Yes. So what advice can you give to people who don't really want to apply for the passport naturalization, even though they are eligible? I don't know if it's because of the application fee or I'm not too sure, but they still don't want to do that. What advice would you give to them, please?
Yes, the fact is that under the Immigration Act, I think 2007, if one is sentenced, receive custodial sentence for more than a year, and that person is not a British or Irish, then that person can be deported. So, which means that if you have a Ghanaian passport or Nigerian passport or whichever foreign passport, in fact, even European nationals were also deported before we exited the EU. So if you don't have a British passport and then you are sentenced for more than a year, then you could be deported. So the fact is that if for whatever reason you don't have a British passport and then you commit an offense and you are sentenced for more than a year, then you're more likely to be deported. So that is why it is that it is sensible. If you don't have any good reason, then perhaps if you have indefinitely to remain, you have to naturalize.
All right. Lawyer, thank you very much. You know, someone is calling you Pastor Beyebenwo, because I do agree with him. What he's saying is very meaningful, because the work you are doing is more or less like a pastoral job. You know, you're giving free legal advice and you doing it for the public. That is really good. So let me acknowledge my listeners. Okay. Ajimai, Agama, DJ Chaka, Legend of Yas, Amount 498. Oh, Agama. Thank you very much. Anyway, Kwame, thank you for watching. Yeah, Kofi Wizzy, Pastor Beyebenwo in action now. Mrs. Anita Edu, that's my sister, Anita, Mami say, yeah, Mami is watching. DJ Papa is still online. He says, "Good, God bless you guys. God bless you." Okay, Sandia Mahama is watching. Yuri Afoka, I'm married. Sorry if I'm pronouncing your name wrong. Sorry about that. Yuri Afoku. Sorry. Today's program is just amazing, and I like how he asks questions. Oh, thank you very much. I do appreciate that. That gives us the motivation to go on and on and on. And listeners or viewers, there's more coming on your way. So please make sure that every Tuesday and Thursdays you tune in. So far as you get the notification, wherever you get it from, we send the notification all the time. Make sure you tune in and you get the best from Lawyer Beyebenwo. All right, viewers, we're going to go for a short commercial break. But then when we come back, I'm going to ask Lawyer to wrap up. And obviously, we will take your questions. So please don't go away. Stay tuned. We'll be right back. Thank you. Welcome, viewers. We're back again. So I'm going to ask lawyer to wrap up quickly, but before then, just wanted to know or to tell you that today's topic is we focus on naturalization and registration as British citizens. How you can register or how you can become British citizen, how you can obtain your passport. And lawyer has done a lot. He's given us a lot of information for the benefit of those who have just joined us or who have just tuned in. Lawyer is going to wrap up, and obviously we will take your questions. So lawyer, do us the honor, please, and then just give us a wrap of what you've said so far, just for the benefit of those who probably didn't catch the earlier version of the program. Please do us the honor and wrap up for us. Thank you.
Thank you. As I always say, it's always a pleasure to have these educative programs, which is obviously quite beneficial to a lot of people who have been watching us. Now, we started this program by looking at various ways of attaining your citizenship or the registration. We looked at children, how children can get registered or who may get British passport by birth. And we said that under section 1, subsection 1 of the British Nationality Act 1981, if a child is born in this country, in the United Kingdom, and either of the parents has a British passport or is settled, which means that parent may have indefinite to remain or permanent residence card under the EU Regulation 2016 or indefinitely to remain under the EU settlement scheme. Now, if the parent has any of these categories of leave or nationality, then that child automatically becomes British. So that's under British Nationality Act Section 1, Subsection 1. If a child is also born abroad, depending on the date that child is born, under British Nationality Act 1987, Subsection 2, Subsection 1, if either of the parents is British, then that child is automatically British. So those of us who go to Ghana or Africa and then who father children over there, or who mother children over there, those children may simply apply for British passport without necessarily going through the settlement route, which most people, out of ignorance, waste a lot of money to do it. I also went further to look at how children who are also adopted automatically can become British. And in fact, I said that under the British Nationality Act, Section 1, Subsection 5, it's also clear that where a child is where the adoption is granted in the UK, that child is automatically British. If a child is adopted abroad, and this is where I wanted viewers to take note, then it is expected that that adoption, which has taken place either in Ghana or Nigeria or Ivory Coast or Cameroon or any part of Europe, then that adoption, that country should have been listed on the Hague Convention countries. So it should be a country that have signed up to the Hague Convention. And in addition, there should be an inter-country proceedings where, for example, if I want to adopt a child in Ghana, I may start the adoption proceedings here, and then eventually they will contact authorities in Ghana, and eventually they issue adoption certificate. That could be relied on to apply for British passport for those children. And I caution that people who simply go to Africa and various places to just get adoption certificate may end up wasting their money because they may not be able to rely on it, because under the law it will not be recognized if it's not gone through these proceedings. We also looked at children who are born here, who under the Section 3, if either of the parents, Section 1, Subsection 3, if either of the parents becomes British or settled, get indefinitely to remain, they can register that child. That one is not automatic. That child will be registered and eventually becomes a British. if the child is also born here and is 10 years in this country, then that child will also be able to register and get a British passport. So on his 10th birthday, the child can just apply. I looked at the fact that some areas that people have not been considering, but which is also an option, where a child is, for example, born in this country, parents didn't have documents, depending on when they were born. A child is sent abroad, parent has now become British citizen, or has even got certain status as indefinitely leave to remain, or permanent residence card, whichever was granted, which was granted probably under the EU Regulation 2016. That parent can also register that child, and then that child will eventually become a British. So when people with their resources and make application under the immigration rules and cannot satisfy responsibility requirements, they end up losing a lot of finance. And then we look at adults. For adults, we simply looked at people who are above 18 years who need to satisfy English language, life in UK, and then residence test. And for residence test, we looked at the fact that either the person is a spouse, it's only 3 years for you to be entitled to make your British naturalization application. And for those who are, for example, not non-spouses, they have to show 5 years residence requirement. So these are the various areas that we looked at today. And obviously, the host is going to open the phone lines. If people have questions, they can go ahead and then ask me questions, and I'll be more than happy to assist. In any legal area of law that they may have questions, I'm prepared to provide my knowledge to assist.
Lawyer, well done. I like your confidence. I mean, in any legal area of law, please call and ask your questions. Lawyer is ready to answer the questions and give you advice. Today's topic, we focused on naturalization and registration as British citizens. But as lawyer said, if you've got any legal question in the area at all, please call the number. The number to call is 079 3293 4518. The number is at the bottom of the screen, but yeah, I'm just reading for the benefit of others that might not be able to see that. So it's 07932 93 4518. If you're calling from abroad, let's say Ghana, then you add the code, which is +44 or 0044. Another number is 0744 033 8623. I repeat, it's 0744 033 8623. I'm in the studio here with lawyer Thomas Beyebenwo. We're discussing immigration matters, naturalization, and how to become British citizens. And he's giving a lot of information as to how you can bring your children back home, people that are adoption, all the areas that he's explored tonight. It's been really, really amazing. The phone lines are now open. Viewers, please make sure you contact us or you call this number, and then you can put your questions across. Lawyer is ready. He's well seated and very confident he will answer your question to a satisfactory level. So please, the phone lines are open. Whilst we wait for people to call, let me acknowledge some people watching us right now. Charles Osu Ansa, thank you for the link. God bless. Charles, thank you very much for watching too. Gidi Kem, I like this program. Thank you very much, Gidi. Keep watching. There's more coming on your way, Gidi. Okay, Cornelia Frimpoma Jima, very informative. Cornelia, thank you very much. Every Tuesday, Thursdays from 8:30. Keep it locked with us. Okay, we've got someone on the line. Hello, good evening, City Media. Joseph Chaka speaking. How can I help? Hello?
Hello.
Oh, hello. Good evening. Welcome to City Media. Lawyer Thomas is here. How can I help?
Yeah, I just my sister introduced me to you. Then I want to ask some of the questions. I think it's not part of what I came and joined it, but I have questions that I want to ask and see how it goes about it.
Yeah, that's fine.
There's a
You can ask any question, any legal question. Go ahead and ask.
okay. I want to ask, do you deal with charity as well?
Okay. I'll leave it for lawyer to answer.
Hello.
Hello.
Yes.
Please, do you deal with charity as well?
When you say charity, what do you mean?
Charity, if somebody have leave to remain and he or she is finding financial difficulties and things. So I want to ask if you do charity as well.
Well, if the
For renewal.
for renewal, great. Well,
Yeah.
we don't do charity, but if you are having financial difficulty, depending on the category of visa that you have, then we can assist you to apply for fee waiver.
Okay.
So that is something that is available for people who are in certain categories of the immigration route. They are entitled to make application for a fee waiver. So if you're having a financial difficulty, depending on the category of visa that you are seeking to renew, you might be entitled to a fee waiver. But we don't do charity.
Okay. And what about if the parents they brought one girl from, let's say, America, they brought the baby here, and they have another baby here, but the two of them, the parents, they don't have papers, and these children, like the elderly one, she came at the age of, I think, 4 or 5 years, yeah, and she's older now. She's, I think, 16 or something.
Okay. Yes, that's a very good question. If a child came here with the parents at the age of 4, and that child is now 16, that means that child has been in this country for about 12 years. So under the normal circumstances, that child will be entitled to an application to under the 10-year route. Now, so it means that once that child is getting a leave, the parent will also be able to apply to get a leave under Appendix FM as a parent of the qualifying child who has been here for more than 7 years and is under 18 years. Again, this types of application can also be exempted under the fee waiver, so which means that you can get a fee waiver so that you don't pay absolutely nothing to do the application for both the child and for the parent. So if that parent is related to you, if you ask the lawyer, you can advise him or her to see that lawyer. If he doesn't have a lawyer and you want us to assist, I can provide our contact details and then you contact us after the program.
The question I'm asking you, I have a lot of people that I don't want them to fall in any wrong house. So when my sister gave me your number, and today I just went on my phone now, and I saw that today you are doing something, or you are online, so I should come and join and listen, because I have a lot of people that what I do, I'm a pastor. So a lot of people, I'm baby pastor, no.
All right. I'm quite conscious with time. So what we will do is I'll take your number and then
Okay.
I'll send you a text message of
Okay. Do
lawyers
that
contact
because I
number so
have
you
a
can.
lot of people. I want to introduce them to you.
That'll be
So
great.
that we need to help ourselves.
Yeah,
So
that'll be
that's
great.
why I have so many questions. And when I finish, I will introduce all of them to you.
Okay.
That's
So
fine, my dear
that's why.
sister. So thank you very much. Because of time, and we've got other people waiting. So
Okay.
yeah, we will definitely contact you again, and then the lawyer will
All
be
right.
able to
Oh,
answer any
all right.
question that you
Thank
have.
you so
Yeah.
much. All
Let me
right.
write your name, please. What's your name? If you don't
Pastor
mind.
Teresa.
Okay. We'll contact you after the program.
After the
Thank
program. Thank you very much. Anyway.
You're
Thank you.
welcome. God bless you.
All right. Yeah, we've got our next caller. Sorry. I do apologize for keeping you on hold. What's your name and where are you calling from? Hello. Okay, what's your name? Um, can you turn your TV because I can hear the volume at the background. So can you turn it off and listen directly from the phone?
you. Hold on, please.
Yeah.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, it's much better now. What's your name? Where are you calling from, please?
Okay, I'm Grace. I'm calling from Telford.
Oh, Telford. Okay, Grace. How can we help you?
Yeah, I think I've got quite a few questions. The first one is, I came to the United Kingdom without any status with my son, who was 2 years then. The following year, 2014, I got my first resident permit together with my son, who was 2 years, the one I got from Ghana. So he also got a resident permit. So we've been renewing it every 2.5 years up until now. I wanted to ask, one, that I qualify for indefinite leave because I've been hearing that when you have 5 years continuous legal stay here, you qualify for indefinite. That is one. And secondly, I want to know if my son, who was 2 years in 2013 when I brought him to the UK, I want to know that if he also qualifies for British citizenship as well. I don't know if my question is clear.
Yes, your question is quite clear. When I was giving
Your
the submission, I made it clear that when a child is born here, then if either of the parents becomes settled, which is when you get your indefinite leave to remain, then that child can register to become a British. Now,
yeah, I haven't got indefinite yet.
yes. So in this case, yes, I understand that. I was just trying to explain to you. In this case, because the child was born abroad, the child needs to have settled status, which is indefinite leave to remain, to be able to register to become a British. Because the child was not born here. If the child was born here, then the situation would have been different. That means that if you, for whatever reason, you acquire your indefinite leave to remain, then that child can register to become British.
Okay.
Or if he lived here for 10 years, then he can that child can also register to become a British. But because neither of them applies to you and the child was born abroad, that child needs to get a settled status before he can apply for registration.
Okay. So the moment we get settled status, that is the indefinite, I can put in application for British citizenship for him.
Yes, for registration, that's how they call it, and then eventually, yes, but you are right, British citizenship, but which is registration for children.
Okay, and how about my case? Because I find if you have 5 years continuous stay here, I don't know if it's under the EU settlement scheme or it's under the British law or whatever.
Yes.
Because I heard that if you have 5 years, stay here, continue, you can qualify for indefinite indefinite leave. How about that one as well?
Yes.
How true is that?
Yes. 5 years for you to qualify for indefinite leave to remain. Your leave probably would have been granted under the European Regulation 2016, or which one was in place, whether 2006. So normally, normally if it was granted under that route, then after 5 years you could get permanent residence card. In this case, indefinite leave to remain under the EU settlement scheme. Or if you were on the tier visa, which is whether you came in as a skilled worker, that could also work. But for any other route, to the best of my knowledge, normally you have to live here lawfully for 10 years before you'll be able to apply for indefinite leave to remain. Unless maybe you became a spouse and then the situation will change.
Okay.
Am I making
So my
sense?
resident permit was given to me based on my British child. You know, the second one I gave birth
Yes.
here.
So in that case, what you
It's
could
not
have,
derivative.
yeah.
So in that case, my case is not derivative right to remain.
Okay, I think you want to drag us into this Zambrano case, if I'm correct. Now,
Yeah, you're correct, but it's quite confusing. I
Okay.
thought that once you have a British child, your permit is automatically Zambrano. But you know,
Yes.
the hearsay, this person is saying this,
Okay,
this person
okay.
is saying that.
all right,
I don't know what you.
let me, because there's somebody else on the line, I'm going to spend about 30 seconds and give very succinct explanation. Now,
Okay.
the point is that if your British child is more than 5 years, then with that Zambrano, you'll be entitled to the indefinite leave to remain. But it's a very big but. Now, the case of Ansanya, which is Home Office, which is the one that has brought this news to a lot of parents who are primary carers of British children, is still being appealed by the Home Office, the Secretary of State. So if you can make the application, but you will not receive a decision until the second time that the appeal has been heard. Yes.
Okay.
Or you can wait, because according to the consent letter or consent order which was granted within that case, Home Office consented that when the decision is finalized, then they will allow those parents in that category 6 weeks to make the applications. So you either make the application now, or you wait till the final decision and then you make your application within 6 weeks. If you ever made that application, then you must be mindful of the fact that you must continue to renew your existing leave, because otherwise you may end up becoming illegal if you didn't do anything about it. I'm saying that if you ever made your new the Zambrano application, then you must protect your existing leave. Okay?
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Let's take
All
another
right,
caller.
my sister, thank you very much. I'm quite conscious of time, so we've got someone
All
waiting.
right. Thank you.
Yeah, but then you can take our number and call us again. Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah, sorry, our next caller. Sorry, I do apologize. Hello.
Hello.
Hello. What's your name and where are you calling from, please?
Good evening. My name is Anita, and I'm calling from Northampton.
Oh, Anita. Yeah, that's right. Anita, I know the voice. Anita, how are you, Anita?
Yes, I'm good, thank you, and thank you so much for this program. Is an eye-opening program, and I'm really learning a lot.
Yeah, thank you very much for watching. And I know you're going to share to your contacts, because I know you've got a lot of contacts. So for the fact that we've got you on board, watching, I know you're going to share to a lot of people to benefit from this program as well.
Definitely.
Okay.
So I've got a question. Yes, I'm asking this question on behalf of my friend. I actually tagged her, but she's not on, so I thought I would ask and then share this link on my page for her to listen. I've recently been to Ghana and I met her. So she was born in the UK. Her parents were students in the 80s.
and they had her whilst they were studying here. So obviously they are not British citizens, but she has the birth certificate which she showed me, and so she was asking if per the certificate, is there any way she can attain a British citizenship, if it's possible. So I think this program has really come in handy, and I hope that I can get information for her. So can she file for a British, or apply for a British passport based on the fact that she was born in the UK, but she left decades ago in the 80s? I think she was 2 years when she went back to Ghana, and she's only been back for holiday through the normal, visits visa. So, but now because she has the British birth certificate, is there any way she can apply for a British passport?
Yes, the question involves a lot of complications because, as you know, the British Nationality Act, initially it was 1948 Act, and then the British Nationality Act 1981 came into force on the 1st of January 1983.
Okay.
So a lot of stuff have changed over the time. First, I'm not sure the exact date she was born. And then also those, if you look at the Act, there have been changes over time. For example, some parents, especially fathers, could not pass on their citizenship or nationality unless they were married before, I think, 2006, 1st of July.
Okay.
So, I won't say that she's not entitled, but obviously I need to take a lot of information from her in order to be able to direct her what she can do.
Okay.
Because the act has changed over time, and people are still. The good thing about the British Nationality Act, which I must say here, is that people can always make those applications, but when people are making those applications, they must meet the conditions that existed at the time.
Okay.
So, for example, that's why I was saying that children who are born here, for example, even if they pass the age of 10 or more than 18, they could still do the application as under the registration, even though they are more than 18. The mere fact that they were born here, that means under the section, British Nationality Act section 1, subsection 4, they will be able to do that. So she might be able, but obviously I need to take a lot of information about the parents, whether they were married, and all this to be able to give you a concrete answer. So you can have our contact. This is
definitely. I'm going to pass it on. Yes, definitely.
All right, Anita. Do you have
Thank you
any
so
more
much.
questions?
No, that's it for today. I'm sure another time I'll have more questions. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much for watching. I trust you to share our program for us anytime we
Definitely, I
will.
I will. Thank you so much, lawyer. You're a blessing.
Thank you, Anita. Thank you.
All right. Okay.
Viewers, we want to take a couple of calls, maybe one or two calls. Maybe one or two calls. Somebody was waiting, but I think he's gone. Yeah, one or two calls, and then we will call it a day. So before then, let me put lawyers firm on board. So legal, city law solicitors. This is City Media, and I've been here with lawyer Thomas Beyebenwo. He's a colleague from Legon way back. I've known him for about 20 years, more than 20 years, and we are friends here as well. So for all your legal matters, this is the right route. Make sure you contact us. Make sure you keep the numbers. Lawyer, do you want to give your firm number so that if someone wants to contact you directly, then obviously they'll be able to contact you?
Yes. I'll urge those who want to contact us to contact us through the office number, because sometimes people complain. I can't answer all the calls because there are a lot of clients, a lot of cases. Sometimes you're being called. There could be other reasons you could not answer. But when people call the office, there is always somebody there who will answer and take instructions. So the office contact number is 020 33 55 0782. I repeat, 020 33 55 0782. If for whatever reason you need any legal assistance and you want to contact the office or city law solicitors, that is the number to call.
Okay. Yeah, so now you've got the number to call, the office number. Give us the address so that they will know where you are located.
Yes, we are located at the heart of Barking. Once you come out of the Barking station, the office is not too far at all from the Barking station. It's Unit 113 Barking Enterprise Center, 50 Cambridge Road, Barking, IG11 8FG. So if for whatever reason you want to locate us, you can locate us in Barking.
Okay, viewers, thank you very much for watching this program. It's been a pleasure to have everybody on board. We're here every Tuesday from 8:30 to till we finish the questions. Anyway, so you could go over the hour. The title of the program is Legal Hour, but as you know, we've extended over the hour. We've gone beyond the hour. So yeah, because your legal matters is relevant to us, it's very important to us. My name is MC Chaka. I've been here with lawyer Thomas Beyebenwo from City Law Solicitors. It's been incredible. It's been amazing. And for those of you that tune in, keep on watching all the time. Papa Boate, my cousin Anita, Mami C, everybody, I can't mention names. Thank you very much for tuning in today. I hope you continue to do that anytime that we come on live. It's been a pleasure to have everybody watching us today. On Thursday, lawyer will come with a tree version. And yeah, definitely from 8:30, lawyer will come with a tree version. So for those of us that have some deficits in the English language, lawyer will be able to express in the local dialect and you'll be able to take something out of it. But then until then, my name is MC Chaka. I've been your host for this event. And for myself and lawyer City Media, we say thank you very much and hope to see you again on Thursday. Thank you for watching.